Thoughts, my opinion. Sports podcast.
Yo, what it is? Welcome back to another episode of MTMO Sports Podcast, Doug. And this is my 144th thought, yo. Told y'all, yo, I'm just climbing on up there, yo. Welcome back on this dope Friday, yo, where I'm about to give y'all these dope topics to talk about here that happen going on in the sports world, you feel me? So make sure y'all sit back, sit tight, get ready, yo, because I got some stuff to talk about. But before I get there, you feel me, yo, if you have not already, please like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel as I'm trying to reach to my mini goal as to getting to 1,000 subscribers, you feel me? So make sure y'all go out here, tell a friend who can be a friend, who can possibly want to be your friend, that MTMO Sports Podcast is this podcast you need in your rotation on YouTube, you feel me? So make sure y'all go out here and spread the news, yo, because like I say, I'm always giving out dope topics, you feel me? Make sure y'all go out here and follow my social media platforms as well. As you can see there on the ticket on the bottom. And as y'all already know, yo, if you don't know, I am the regional coordinator of the Walk a Mile and Out Shoes in Baltimore, you feel me? So if you not already put on, yo, make sure you go out here and follow the movement, yo. Walk a Mile and Out Shoes is a nonprofit organization started by one of my own guesses and Mr. Eugene Campbell the third, you feel me? So this nonprofit organization is a dope nonprofit organization that everybody needs to go ahead and tap in and get used to seeing, you feel me? Right now, we are at 3 locations at Newark, New Jersey, Trenton, New Jersey, and here in Baltimore, you feel me? So make sure y'all go out here, spread the love, spread the word, go out here and follow Walk a Mile and Out Shoes on all social media platforms, and you can also see that on my ticket as well. So, like I said, yo, got all that, business part out of it. Now, let's talk about some sports, though. Let me tell y'all what topics I got lined up for y'all, man. We already know we are 2 days away from Super Bowl 59, you feel me? So, we're going to break that game down a little bit, give y'all my prediction and why I feel like that this could be the year that somebody might get upset as usual. But also in the NFL world, the NFL honors had happened, and I cannot believe they let my guy walk up out of there not with the MVP. So not gonna get ahead of myself. Gonna talk about each category, who got it, that they deserve to give it, in my opinion. So I can't wait to talk about that. Also, the NBA. I had to save, I feel like, the best for last, you feel me? I kind of had to talk back on my words a little bit when I said that the NBA was a watered down product. This past week that just happened, boy, oh boy, the NBA ratings is about to shoot up. The drama has started to kick in. Oh, man, I can't wait to go ahead and talk about a surprise trade that blew the damn internet off the water, yo. Woo! Can't wait to go ahead and talk about that, you feel me? So, sit back, sit tight, Doug. I'm trying to tell y'all, I got something in store for y'all. But, let's go ahead and talk about the Super Bowl 59, you feel me? We got the Eagles. We got the Chiefs. And it seemed like we already seen this Super Bowl before. Because we did. This a couple years ago. These two teams battled it out. Kansas City went on ahead and won that game that year. And very interesting game. Everybody was real big up on Jalen Hurts. But when he didn't deliver and then he really couldn't get back to the Super Bowl the following year, everybody was down on Jalen Hurts. Now, it looks like everybody is back on the Jalen Hurts train now because he was able. Now, he had some help. God damn, he had some help. You feel me? And he had the big help by bringing in Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley was hands down their savior of their season. And the reason why, honestly, I believe that this is the reason why they are in the Super Bowl. All because of Satan. Now, like I said, don't get me wrong. The team that's built around Philly, yo, they are a deep stacked team. I like what Philly did, yo. They also got the big star names. They got the middle star names, and they got the lower star names. But they all got the right ingredients. You feel me? And I honestly thought that Philly was the second best team in the NFC. You know what I mean? I was going to give it to, I gave it to Detroit. I gave it to Detroit. Then I gave it to Philly, and then I gave it to Minnesota because I wasn't really sold on what Minnesota had did this season. I felt like that was a Cinderella team. They got there, glass slipper found, and the rest is history. You feel me? I'm not saying that team is going to be trash in the future or anything in that nature. I feel like that Minnesota Vikings got some good key pieces. They got to really figure out, do they retain Sam Darnold? You know what I mean? But another story, another time. But for the Philadelphia Eagles, yo, for their team, the way they are stacked and the way they built, I really feel like that they deserve to be in the Super Bowl. They showed us why they was in the Super Bowl. And it really kind of almost tipped the scale for me to go with Philly a little bit because of the team that they assembled. And I really feel like it's just not just on that offensive piece that's really making Philly dangerous. That defense, Doug, that defense is really making them serious. Like, it ain't just like on the back end, you know what I mean, with big play Slave and what's the cornerback name? I think named Quentin Mitchell. No, they got Blankenship. They got Dijon. They got my favorite defensive tackle, my second favorite. He's not over now, Matabike yet. But Jalen Cardio, that guy is a force on that defensive line, yo. And he is climbing his way to be the best defensive lineman in the game. Like, real talk, I'm talking about putting him up almost in that Aaron Donald type conversation. Now, don't get me wrong, he got some more growth and some more maturity to do. But Shorty, I really like Shorty. I really think that Shorty is going to be a real key piece in that Philly defense. And I really feel like Philly going to have to try their best to keep him in Philly as long as he don't do nothing stupid or crazy, off the field. But Jalen Cardio, he's like one of the main reasons why I'm really tipping the scale over to kind of lean towards Philly a little bit. But then you look at the Kansas City Chiefs. Nobody really, except for the Chiefs Kingdom, you know what I mean, felt like Kansas City was going to make it back to the Super Bowl. Everybody thought it was probably going to be the Bills' year or the Ravens' year. You know what I mean? Nobody really counted on Kansas City to really be in the Super Bowl. Now, in the back of our minds, we can't count them out. But when Mahomes wasn't in the MVP conversation, Travis Kelce wasn't leading the tight ends and none of the categories really. Their running game was, iffy. Kareem Hunt hold it down, but Pacheco, by him being in and out the lineup, it was like, that everybody still had questions on Xavier Worthy. Is he going to be the guy that the Pat Mahomes really going to key on to? Or is he just a one-trick pony? He just a end-around type player, gadget type player? You know what I mean? Marquise Hollywood Brown, is he going to play? He was in and out the lineup. He really didn't play majority of the season. So it was just like, do we really see the Chiefs in the Super Bowl? Then these guys just kept, chucking along throughout the season, damn near in a perfect season until they ran into the Bills. But then after that, they still had a decent season, even when they put their backups in on the last game. They, it was still like they might can still go out of here with just one loss. But it didn't pan out that way. Then everybody thought that because the Chiefs took a long break, especially their starters didn't play the last week of the season, and Didn't have to play the first round, and it took about 27 days off, something in that nature. So nobody really was like, well, the Chiefs going to be rusty tied. One of these hot teams going to catch them. The Chiefs is still count the Chiefs. Now, don't get me wrong. I know y'all. I know. I didn't said it in one of my little YouTube shorts. Kansas City has some help throughout this season. These refs are babying Patrick Mahomes. Now I understand they still got to make Patrick Mahomes the face of the league. But some of these damn calls that they be calling for the Chiefs, it's like, yo, you wouldn't call that for the next quarterback. And I've seen it with my own eyes because a lot of times Lamar most definitely didn't get a lot of those calls. My man had a horse collar tackle going out of bounds, or a hip drop tackle. A hip drop tackle. And you waited a couple weeks to give that person a fine, but that should have been a fucking flag. Oh, he wasn't Patrick Mahomes. He's a running quarterback. He don't get those type of flags. And, Patrick Mahomes kind of on this one call, especially against the Houston Texans, where normally he will run out of bounds. No, he wiggled back into the middle of the field and made the two Texan guys collide into each other, and next thing you know, it's a flag on Houston talking about roughing the damn quarterback. Like, they ain't even touch him. So, yeah, I get it. The Chiefs had some help, but still, the Chiefs still found a way to go out here and compete for that third straight Super Bowl. And I think it's going to be an interesting game. It's not going to be like the game like the first year, in my opinion. I really feel like this game is going to be number one, who has the ball, which quarterback has the ball last, which team has the ball last. Number two, which team can stop which team can stop each other, because these teams are going to go for it on fourth down multiple times. I don't really see a lot of punts coming into these games. So it's going to be which defense can stop the other team's offense on these third and fourth downs. That's the second thing. The third thing is going to be who can commit a turnover and win the turnover battle. And I really, really feel like those three things right there is going to be whoever can, and I got one more bonus one, who controls the clock. That also can kind of tie into the first one I said, which quarterback is going to hit the ball last, which offense is going to hit the ball last. But, yeah, who control the clock? But out of those top three that I mentioned first, that's going to be the team that kind of goes and win the Super Bowl. And I really see like a back and forth, yo. I really see like multiple fourth down possessions. I can see, we already know what Philly going to do when it's get 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 inches and stuff like that. We already know that the tush push is going to come. So that's another kind of reason why I'm kind of leaning towards Philly, because I really feel like Philly can really control the clock, number one. Number two, they're explosive enough to score. Number three, I mentioned that defense. How I really feel like that defense is kind of underrated and under the radar. A lot of these people, scanners. I really feel like that defense is really top notch. Now, what's wearing in Kansas City side? I didn't kind of give y'all my peek of who I'm kind of going with, but what's wearing on Kansas City side that also can make you think like I shouldn't go with Philly? It's Andy Reid. It's about to be hands down probably top 5 coaches of all time when his career is over with. You just can't sleep on Andy Reid. Andy Reid is very clever. Andy Reid is very in detail. Like he knows when to do certain plays and when not to do certain plays. And then Steve Spagnuolo, the Chiefs defensive coordinator. I really feel like the Chiefs defensive coordinator is one hell of a defensive coordinator, Doug. Like, he don't really have the big names up over there. They got some stout players, but it ain't like the big names at the big names. So, but he had this defense hungry, stingy, greedy. So it's like this is why, like, sometimes you just don't want to. I can't really fully go with Philly on this Super Bowl. It's like it tips me back over to kind of go and still stay with Kansas City, and like they can be the first NFL team to complete a three-peat. They can be added to another milestone of teams that can make consecutive Super Bowls and won consecutive Super Bowls, especially 3, because the last major team to do it was the 01-02 Lakers. So they can be up in that history milestone. So that's why I'm saying, like, you it's hard to really pick. And then, you know, it's Pat Mahomes, yo. How can you really go against Patrick Mahomes on a certain, especially if yo got the last play? I mean, the last drive. It's under a minute. He's down there, get ready to cross the 50. He has to score a touchdown to win the game, in my opinion. Or he has to score a touchdown to take it to overtime. Because I tell you why I put that scenario out there in a minute. So it's like every time it's time for him to be clutch, he's clutch. How can you go against him? Why would you go against him? So this is why this decision makes it a little bit hard for me to say I'm still going to ride with the Philadelphia Eagles. After all that I just mentioned. I get it. I totally fucking get it. But I totally fucking hate the Kansas City Chiefs. They up there on the hate list. I don't want them to be a 3-peat. I don't want to see Taylor Swift every goddamn play. So, I'm going with the Philadelphia Eagles. I really, 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 really feel like that these guys can go ahead and take this Super Bowl by storm. And I know a lot of people is probably going to be like, Dad, what about the referees? What about Andy Reid? What about what you just said about Patrick Mahomes? I get it. I totally get it. But just remember what I was saying about that defense. Now, the only thing that really scares me about this defense right now, why it's popped up in my mind, the Philadelphia Eagles defense has been dealing with some illness. A little bug flying around in there. Hopefully these guys can get right, you know what I mean, be ready for the Super Bowl. I'm pretty sure they're going to try to play regardless. But other than that, that's the only thing that scares me about that defense. I'm riding with the Philadelphia Eagles. I really feel like that Saquon is going to be explosive. He's going to hit these big explosive plays as he's been doing all season. I see that. I see that Jalen Hurts is going to hit A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith on the monies, dropping dimes. I really can see that. I can really see when they count down to 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, Kansas City is not going to be able to stop that push. They might get stopped them on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 3, maybe like one time, or you know. But other than that, nah, Doug. I really just feel like, and with that being said, that they can be explosive. They can hit you off with the big plays. Saquon Barkley can most definitely control the clock, and Jalen Hurts can control the clock. That's controlling the time of possession, keeping the ball away from Patty Mahomes. That's why I really think that. And I know in about beginning of the season, I said that Nick Sirianni probably was going to be on the hot seat either way if he win this game. But honestly, I think if you'll win this Super Bowl, he might come out the hot seat now. I don't think it will be no hot seat. They're going to feel like that he's the perfect fit for this team. But I think he is, kind of. Philly plays off the way how he kind of carry himself. So, I'm picking the Philadelphia Eagles to win this Super Bowl. And I think this Super Bowl, I ain't going to say it's going to be sky-high points. But I think it's going to be 30-plus to win this Super Bowl. And I think the Eagles do have the capability of putting up 30 plus in the Super Bowl. So I'm riding with the Philadelphia Eagles. 35, Kansas City Chiefs. 28. 35-28. That's the Super Bowl, Philadelphia Eagles. Like I said, it's going to be, I can kind of see how I score. Nah, let's lower that a little bit. Let's lower that. 33-27. Philadelphia get that. 33-27. Because like I said, I feel like it's still going to be a scenario where it's a possibility that Patrick Mahomes can have the last possession and he has to score. He has to throw that touchdown to win that game. And I really just feel like that the Philadelphia Eagles defense is going to be able to strong enough to hold off and stop their three-peat. Philadelphia 33-27. That's my score right there. Philadelphia wins Super Bowl 59. And that's how I'm going to end that segment. Because I got to keep it going. My boys got a game. I got to get them to their game by a certain time. They got to be there they got a game today at 6:15. So let me keep it going. Now let's go with the NFL honors. Yo, I cannot believe that my guy did not win MVP. I cannot believe it. Like, how, Sway? How? But let me start off saying this before I get into my rant. Congratulations to Josh Allen. This is no bullshit, and this is not me being sarcastic. Josh Allen, you deserve to be an MVP. No matter how I feel and what Lamar had did. I think that the NFL got it wrong last year, so that's why they're giving it to you this year. And that's like no disrespect to Josh Allen. Like none at all. But I really feel like that's what the NFL did, and that's why the NFL did that. Because my guy had a ball out year, Doug. Like a ball out year. There to tell me that he couldn't get MVP. But Josh Allen, they're going to say that he did it with less and he still had the better record. I guess you could say that's true. My only argument about that is I'm tired of y'all keep on putting like, oh, Lamar had 9 Pro Bowlers and bop, bop, bop. That's the only reason why he had those stats. Here's why I say blah, blah, blah to that. Josh Allen had Stephon Diggs. He had Big Play Gabe. He had Dalton Kincaid. He had I forgot the other tight end that he had. He had weapons. That defense was also loaded during those times that he was making it to the AFC or the divisional round against Patrick Mahomes. You had Micah Hyde. You had Tre'Davious White. You had you wind up getting Von Miller. That's why you had to bring Von Miller there. You had you had Pro Bowlers before, and you still didn't win MVP during that time. Lamar didn't. When he won his first MVP, he didn't really have nobody. Remember, his damn wide receiver core was Marquise Hollywood Brown, which was a young guy, Willie Snead, Mark Andrews, and then you had like some other random players. And you had Mark Ingram. Don't get me wrong, he most definitely held it down in that running back line. But you got to remember, he had Greg Roman as his offensive coordinator, who was run first. He didn't have a lot of weapons. But somehow, some way, Lamar was still won MVP that his first year. I mean, his first MVP. He still won it. Josh Allen wasn't in the running. He had weapons. He had more weapons than Lamar at that time. But he still didn't win MVP. He went deep into the playoffs way before Lamar was started going deep into the playoffs. But he still didn't win MVP. Why? The NFL didn't feel like he was deserving enough. The voters didn't feel like he was deserving enough. So, and he wasn't even first team all pro. And he had players. So I'm tired of hearing that narrative about Lamar had this, Lamar had that. Just stop that. Just stop it. You can't be mad of the weapons that the Ravens finally put in front of Lamar. And it had to kind of go through draft. We want to talk about Zay Flowers. Yeah, Zay Flowers is a dynamic wide receiver. But Zay Flowers didn't lead us in touchdown receptions this year. Rashad Bateman did. He didn't get a Pro Bowl call. Remember, y'all was writing Mark Andrews off in the beginning of the season. He was washed, as I was reading about. In that first 8 to 9 games, he was washed. Remember, but after the second half of the season, he lit everybody's ass up. Yes, we already knew that the Derrick Henry and Lamar was going to be a dynamic duo. We knew that. It was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But to sit here and try to make it seem like that, he had all these players. Like, yes, he had 4 or 5 players that make it off the offensive side. Zay, him, Tyler Linderbaum, Derrick Henry, and Pat Ricard. You know what I mean? With an explosive offense, he damn sure should have took everybody. Oh, he had Mark Andrews, I'm sorry, too. He damn sure should have took everybody else, right? So, I'm tired of hearing all that ranting about he had all these pro bowlers and all that. You can't be mad of a team that went out here and designed a team that was for Lamar. And he showed y'all that he can do it with his arm. My man he had more passing touchdowns. He was the first quarterback to throw 4,000 passing yards and rush for 900 yards. He was the first quarterback to have 40-plus touchdowns and fewer than 5 interceptions. He was the 4th best quarterback in NFL history with a passer rate of 119.6. And he ain't even get no MVP nod or offensive player of the year. He got nada. Like, tell me how else. And he was first all-pro quarterback this year. Yo, you can't be mad because the design was fit Lamar. We seen the spark last year. Remember, his completion percentage was high as hell. It's the first time in his career that he touched 70% last year. We seen the growth. We seen that the evolution, what was going to happen. So I don't want to hear about the narrative that Lamar had all these weapons. Then we flip it to the defensive side. We already knew that Roquan Smith is the top inside linebacker in the NFL. We already knew that. Or at least top 5. We've been knew that. We've been knew that all-pro Marlon Humphrey was going to live up to his name again. Because I told everybody, I said, if you move Marlon to the slot and keep him off the outside, he plays better in the slot. He can be more physical in the slot. He can take on tight ends and stuff like that. And they moved him to the slot, and he had a good-ass year. It ain't like Marlon Humphrey was ass from the beginning. So, y'all don't want to hear that. We already seen the growth of Kyle Hamilton. People is anointing him to be the best safety in the NFL. So, you want to sit here and fault Lamar for his team to go out here and build a good team around him. And you want to punish him and not give him the MVP. All because y'all, the NFL, made a mistake of giving him MVP last year and gave Josh Allen in. That's all it is. A bunch of nonsense, Doug. So, like I said in the beginning, congratulations, Josh Allen. You do deserve to be an MVP in this league. You did put your team on your back. It's nothing to hate on about that. You feel me? That's big ups to you. Also, let's talk about the offensive player of the year. Shout out to Saquon Barkley. We kind of knew that he was going to get that hands down. After the year, he had 2,000 over 2,000 rushing yards. Single-handedly kind of helped the Philadelphia Eagles to get to the Super Bowl, like I alluded to in my Super Bowl breakdown. Saquon Barkley was this destined to get offensive player of the year. I just want to see how many votes that he got as being MVP. Defensive player of the year. Shout out to Patrick Surtain, man. Well deserved. Well deserved. Because you really became a true shutdown corner in my eyes. Denver got one. You know what I mean? Denver got one. They got to go ahead and find another corner that can really shut down the other side and probably get some edge rushers. But that defense that Denver has, they got one on that side, yo. Who else won something? Coach of the year, Kevin O'Connor. Well deserved. Especially being your first year of a head coach. And you got Minnesota to be like, they didn't really shoot themselves in the foot of getting rid of Kirk Cousins. Maybe Kirk Cousins was the problem that was holding Minnesota back. Offensive rookie of the year. Shout out to Jaden Daniels. We already knew since the fourth game. Well, I already knew since the fourth game of the season that he was going to win offensive player of the year. He's dynamic. He can lead a team. He ain't going to really do too much yet. He's going to go out there and put it out in the field. And I think that Washington most definitely have the future quarterback, their franchise quarterback in Jaden Daniels. They made the right decision of not trying to go ahead and fight to go get Caleb Williams during that draft. Y'all got the right guy. So shout out to Jaden Daniels. Defensive defensive rookie of the year. Shout out to my guy Jared Verse for the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams most definitely, what I said about how I felt about Patrick Surtain on that defense, the Rams most definitely got one on their hand, man. They got some good stars over there and at the Rams, you feel me? So shout out to them. Shout out to comeback player of the year was Joe Burrow. Shout out to Joe Burrow, man, because I want to see that. Did you get any votes in this MVP? Because if your team could have made the playoff, found a way to make the playoffs, I think that Joe Burrow would have most definitely been in that MVP conversation. And I don't think that it would have been as close as whatever Lamar and Josh Allen was. So most definitely shout out to them. And so shout out to everybody in the NFL honors that most definitely received those big time awards, man. The only thing I can say that they got wrong, in my opinion, was the MVP. I think that you should have gave Lamar his third MVP on that one. I understand that Josh Allen most definitely put Buffalo on his back. He almost had Buffalo in the Super Bowl, but you don't count the playoff records when it comes to MVP votes. I think that these MVP voters need to find a different way to vote. I think that now, I guess we shouldn't expect players that if you are a first pro all team that you're probably not going to win that award now, because it just shown, because normally whoever was the first pro quarterback normally get MVP. So that's the only thing I think they got wrong in the NFL honors. It sucks. I know I'm not trying to be a bitter Baltimore fan or nothing like that. But I really just felt like Lamar had the better product, and he showed and he produced the better product when it came to him winning his third MVP, man. But like I said, shout out to Josh Allen. Shout out to everybody that won awards at the NFL honors this year, man. Y'all really put up a new standard when it comes to this into this league. You feel me? So I see I got a couple of comments. What's up, OG, man? Let's see. My honest thoughts that the entire NFL is scripted exactly why I stopped watching it unless the Ravens are playing. Don't get me wrong. The NFL is kind of scripted. You can just see it on certain games. I don't think that it's like hand scripted or anything in the nature. I just really just think that the NFL and this, I think Las Vegas, let me say that, has a big hand into some of these games. So that's my kind of somewhat opinion about it. You feel me? But yeah, I just really just think that Vegas really got a large part when it comes to the NFL. Now, my last topic, because I got a couple more minutes before I gotta get up out of here. So we're gonna spend this last 10 minutes or so talking about the drama of the NBA, Doug. Like, man, yo, if y'all fell asleep like I did on Saturday night and you woke up and seen that Luka Doncic was traded to the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis, you'd have been like, duh, hell no, that ain't happened. Hell no. Yo, it took me about almost mid-afternoon to make sure it wasn't like no psych. That didn't really happen. No, dog, that shit really happened. And this shocked me. And I couldn't, I wound up posting it, but I was like, nah, yo, why? Where all this coming from? And the crazy part is that shit was only kept between the GMs. I know a lot of people are going to say the owners that was involved in this and all that. No, that ain't what I think. I think that the Dallas GM got. He was in his feelings about something. I really feel like that him and Luka didn't have a good relationship. That's what I'm banking on. I'm banking on that him and Luka didn't have a good relationship. I was reading reports that, Nico didn't draft Luka. That was the last GM guy. And I think that Nico was like, you know what? Let me get this guy up out of here so I can go ahead and build my own team the way I want it. And don't get me wrong, I think it was a stupid move on his move. I think he's going to be a meme for a nice time. He's going to be viral for a minute. But that was not the best move, my guy. Don't get me wrong, I'm an AD fan. I feel like AD is the guy. But I wouldn't have made that move. 25 years old? In this prime, really? This guy's starting to become almost the face of the league. He helped Dallas get to the finals last year. Now, I get it. He don't play good defense. Whines, complains, and talks to the ref a lot. I get it. But damn, you don't trade that type of player just yet. And that's why I say I feel like that this was a little bit of, I think that these two might have bumped heads some way, somehow. And Nico was like, you got to go, my guy. I'm going to go ahead and give you away. And I'm going to go ahead and live with this philosophy of defense win championships. So that was a crazy trade. But now that helped the Lakers out because now the Lakers are making the good moves. They wind up getting an athletic center at the AD asked to bring a big man there. And I just think that when AD did that, I think that the Lakers feel like he called them out in public. So they was like, you know what, we're going to go ahead and get rid of you. I think that was the whole reason why AD got moved. That's why it was only kept between the two GMs in my eyes. That was like a crazy ass move. But like I said, thank you, Dallas. I know that a lot of my Dallas friends is like, forget you, Dad. But Luka is going to be a bright star in LA. And they talking about they got rid of him because they had concerns of 200. He was about 270 pounds. I didn't see that. It looked like the same Luka to me. He don't look bulky. He didn't look like how James Harden was looking when he was trying to force his way out of Houston. So I don't know what the hell they was looking at. Unless y'all know something about this injury that he has that is going to be long term. That's like the only way you can be like, haha, I got you, Rob Pelinka. You don't know that his injury is going to be a little bit long term. That's the only way I can see like you trade him. Other than that guy 25 years old in this prime, yo. Even with this injury, my guy's like still top 5 in scoring, still top 5 in assists. So you want to get rid of him because of feelings? Then you wasn't. There was a little bit of rumors that you wasn't going sign him back to a max deal. Like, dog, what are you talking about? It's Luka. Yeah, them little comments was was a little bit funny, man. What it is, Rod, yo, what's happening with you, my guy? I'm riding with the Eagles, yo. You gotta go up there and check my earlier part of the show, yo. I'm riding with the Eagles. That's gonna be another topic, another conversation, another time. I really don't think that the Lakers are going to win the West with that move. I still feel like OKC is still the deeper team, still the better team. So I really feel like that OKC will still get on the money on that. Secondly, I want to see how this Denver team is going to pan out too when it comes to the playoff. So I'm just not going to quite just say that the Lakers are going to win the West. I feel like the Lakers can make a deep playoff run? Most definitely. Yes, I see that. But I'm not going to say they're going to win the West. But other than that trade, yo, that was a crazy, shocking NBA trade. I couldn't believe that happened. Like I said, thank you, Dallas. But there was some more trades that happened, yo. Jimmy Butler went to Golden State. And he also signed the 2-year extension with Golden State that's leading them up to 121 mil. And I think that this is a good move for the Golden State Warriors. I really feel like that Steph needed a second guy. He really needed him bad. Getting rid of Clay kind of really killed him. And I know Clay is kind of on the downcline of his career, but he needs somebody that can spread the floor and bring some other attention. Not AD coming back. I mean, KD coming back was really killing them, killing Steph. Because I know Steph kind of low-key wanted KD to come back. But KD was like, nah, Doug, I'm not trying to deal with that Draymond situation. I don't feel like hearing about this is the only time I can win a championship is when I link up with Steph. So I get why he didn't want to come back to the Warriors. And I believe that that's why he wasn't coming back to the Warriors. So I also see that Kevin Durant has also got some friction and thinking about not signing back with the Suns during the summer. But another conversation, another time, you feel me? De'Aaron Fox got up out of the Sacramento Kings and went to the San Antonio Spurs. And they was able to retain their young star, Stephon Castle, and didn't move none of their young pieces. And they kept Chris Paul. So I think that this is a good move for the San Antonio Spurs for the long run. They don't have to really depend on Chris Paul to be a coach and a player. Because we got to understand Pop's still not back yet. And De'Aaron Fox is going to put in a lot of minutes, which means you're not going to really see Chris Paul putting in a lot of minutes. It's going to be spot minutes where he can be the floor general. Now, don't get me wrong. He's going to play times where it's him, De'Aaron Fox, and Wemby on the floor at the same time. But I really feel like that this move from the San Antonio Spurs is really setting them up for the future. Not just for this year. It's setting them up for the upcoming years. You got De'Aaron Fox is still young, and then you pair him up with Wemby. Then you still got that young core, like I had mentioned, to grow up together. So I really just feel like that was a good move for the San Antonio Spurs. I see Zach LaVine finally got out of Chicago, made his way to the West Coast, and made his way to Sacramento Kings. And is paired up with DeMar DeRozan again. Now, I kind of still don't see how this fit makes sense. It didn't really make sense in Chicago, so why would it make sense in Sacramento? So, I shout out to Zach LaVine for finally getting out of Chicago. We'll see the future of him being with the Kings. My guy B.I. Brandon Ingram got himself out of New Orleans and made his way up in Toronto. And I think that it's an okay move because I see that Toronto was kind of starting to try to build a young roster, and I like what they are building up there, especially with R.J. Barrett being one of the key pieces up there. Now that you bring B.I., who is talented to score, you know what I mean, who really can become the number one option in Toronto, I just really just think that this is a good move for the Toronto Raptors. Another good move for the Milwaukee Bucks was getting Kyle Kuzma. Getting Kyle Kuzma up out of Washington was a good move and a great idea by the Milwaukee Bucks. I know it sucks that Chris Middleton had to go to Washington, but in a minute, I'm going to tell you why I think that it can still kind of help or be good for Chris Middleton in Washington. But for Kyle Kuzma to go to Milwaukee, yes, this is another small market team, but this small market team gets a lot of TV time. And then you get to pair up with Dame Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo, where Milwaukee is starting to find their groove. Remember, everybody was sleeping on them when they was having the downfall at the beginning of the season, and Giannis said that if you don't want to ride the ship, get off the boat now because we still want to make it happen. And you clearly see that. And then bringing Kyle Kuzma, who's a scorer, adding another score will help Milwaukee to make a deep playoff run. So I just think that getting Kyle Kuzma was a good move. Andrew Wiggins and that Jimmy Butler trade wound up going to Miami. Dalton Connect wound up going to Charlotte while we traded to get a big man and Mark Williams to the Lakers. Valanciunas finally got up Washington and went to Sacramento. My guy De'Aaron Hunter got out of Atlanta and went to the Cavs, which adds another score to help the Cleveland Cavaliers. You got Barty Bogdanovich going to the Clippers to add another score to help them. I feel sorry for PJ Tucker and Dennis Schroeder because these guys got traded about 4 or 5 times in that week, yo. And it's crazy that Dennis Schroeder cannot really find a home. He just got traded to Golden State. Like, damn. But that's crazy that he has been traded. But let me tell you why I think that Chris Middleton going to Washington is a good idea before I go. Chris Middleton is now down there with Jordan Poole and Marcus Smart, which means now you got 3 vets who has won on high levels. Jordan Poole has a championship. Chris Middleton has a championship. Marcus Smart has went deep in the Eastern Conference, you feel me? So now you pair these 3 up with the young star and the young core that you have in Washington. It might not look good this year, but if they can keep those 3 together coming into next year, I really think that Washington has a stepping stone to become a little bit relevant in the Eastern Conference. Now, I ain't going to say it's going to change completely and they're going to win the East or anything of that nature. No. But what I'm saying is that Washington can become relevant, almost like a play-in team of like of how the Atlanta Hawks is kind of straddling that line to be a playoff team and the play-in team. You feel me? I really feel like that Chris Middleton, who can still score, can really help Washington score. It helps Jordan Poole still be the top scoring threat now since Kyle Kuzma is gone. But now you can still divert your offense to Chris Middleton, who can most definitely score, especially in that midi. You get Marcus Smart to become your defensive anchor. He's a one-time defensive player of the year before. So I'm pretty sure that yes, he can just start getting the roll of things and really be fully committed. I really just think that this can change the culture for the Washington Wizards. So this is why I think that people was kind of sleeping on that move in Washington, but I really feel like that if these 3, Jordan Poole, Marcus Smart, and Chris Middleton can buy in Washington, and Washington can probably bring a semi-good coach down there that can really coach these guys up, I think Washington can really be fight in to be a play-in team. They can be a way better team than what the hell they are now. So that's what I really just got out of that whole Chris Middleton going to Washington. Now, I understand he's probably going to want to buy out. Or he might try to leave before the season over. But if that don't happen, he wind up buying in, you never know, yo. Washington might have something, a stepping stone for something. So, it's all the time I have right now, y'all. I'm sorry that I couldn't give y'all the hour like I normally do, but My boys got a game. I gotta take them to their game. So y'all let me know how y'all feel about the NBA trade down in the comments. I'm most definitely gonna holler back at y'all once I get through with their game. So make sure y'all go out here, drop your comments on that. Comment about the NFL honors. Do you think the NFL got that right? Comment your prediction about the Super Bowl. Who y'all think gonna win the Super Bowl, man? My man Rod already calling out that the Chiefs gonna win. So I'm thinking that Philly gonna win. Make sure y'all go out here and drop y'all comments. And as always, man, make sure y'all go out here and tell a friend who can be a friend, who can possibly be a friend that you need MTMO Sports Podcast and your sports rotation. I'm sorry. So make sure y'all go out here and tell a friend. You know, man, I'm trying to get my subscribers up. I'm trying to get to my mini goal of 1,000 subscribers. You feel me? So make sure y'all go out here, support, spread the love. Speaking of support, yo, make sure y'all go out here if y'all trying to get your MTMO gear, whether it's hats, hoodies, shirts, backpacks, water bottles, whatever. Make sure y'all go into my link tree, go to MTMO Sports Spread. You can go ahead and shop, you know what I mean, support me, you feel me? Put the MTMO gear out here so everybody can acquire and hop on the train, you feel me? So make sure y'all get your MTMO gear. Make sure also in the link tree, y'all go follow Walk a Mile in Our Shoes. I also got their website and their spread shop also as well. You can get your Walk a Mile gear as well. So make sure y'all go out here and support. Make sure y'all go out here and follow me on all of my social media platforms, whether it's Instagram and TikTok. You can follow me at MTMO_sports podcast. Whether it's X or Facebook, you can follow me at my THTS, my opinion. And like I said, Walk a Mile in Our Shoes, you can find that at Walk a Mile in Our Shoes and all social media platforms. Also, quick notice, my clothes drive event will be postponed right now because we're supposed to be getting a little bit of snow and rain during the time of the event. So I'm gonna postpone that. I will give y'all later details on when I will be doing the clothes drive, but I'm most definitely trying to do it before this month close. Most definitely, always happy Black History Month. Make sure y'all go out here and support all the Black supporters out here, such as myself, yo. Like I said, MTMO gear. Pretty much, I think that's it. I got one more comment. I'm most definitely going to tell them, OG, man, like I said, about to get them to their game real quick, yo. So, as always, yo, I appreciate everybody that tuned in, tapped in, commented, and everything. My fault. Make sure y'all go out here, spread the word, spread the episode. You feel me? Like, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel, yo. And I catch y'all in the streets. You feel me? I'm out. Big trust as always.